Welcome back to Race Control in the Volvo Ocean Race headquarters in Alicante, Spain. I'm Genny and we are now 17 hours into the final leg 9 of this Volvo Ocean Race. So let's take a look at where the fleet has come in these 17 hours. As they left Lorient overnight and sailed around Quiberon Bay and Peninsula, the Dutch team, skippered by Dutchman Bauer Becking, continued to lead on their leg towards home. The fight behind was quite tight, with Mapfre, Dongfang, and Davies switching second place around Belle-Île. This morning, though, the choice was whether to go through Ile-de-Sant and the mainland or go around. Clearly, Team SCA picked the former, while Vestas hesitated before going with the pack. It didn't work out initially, though, for SCA, who went in circles, fighting 5 knots of tide. They're finally through now, though, and the pack is around as well. So we'll see who comes out once they rejoin and head towards the next tidal gate before the English Channel. Now, online, on a LiveX, we have skipper of Mapfre, Iker Martinez. Iker, can you hear us?
Iker.
I think that was Francisco Vignali. He's
hello.
the onboard reporter, just passed off to Iker. Iker, it's Genny in Race Control. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect. Tell us about the racing overnight. It looks like it's been quite an intense drag race and then a fight against the tide, but now you guys are not quite leading, but hanging in there with the leaders? Iker, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, it's Genny.
Yes, I can hear you.
That's better. I was
Hello,
just asking about, I'm doing well, and yourself? We can't quite see you. Could you step into frame?
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
That is good.
Yeah, tell us about the racing. It looks like it's been a really intense 17 hours since you guys started in Lorient. How close is it now?
It's very close. We are here all together. Dongfeng is there, Albimica is there, Abu Dhabi is there. So we can see each other and Brunel just in front. Only the steward. We can see the girls too. They are there. But we don't know exactly what is going to happen as there is more separation. But yeah, they are all very, very close.
Was it a hard decision for you guys to go around Ile-de-Sant because of the current, or were you always thinking that you go around the outside?
No, was the plan. Obviously, we were waiting a shift, and I mean, we were expecting the to have some conditions changing pretty quick. But yeah, that was the plan, and then everything happened more or less as we thought it was going to happen. So was more a question, I think, of trimming and filling the boat, and all of us were fighting a little bit to try to be faster than the one next to you, and we can see that all the boats, they are very close on speed, and we've been fighting since the start yesterday.
How do you feel your team performs in these light air conditions when it's a drag race like that?
We like these conditions. These are the conditions where we normally feeling pretty good. In tight reachings, more high speeds, then we are not so comfortable. But in these conditions, we good. I think I mean, we can fight with any boat.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much, Iker. Great to talk to you, and we'll talk to you soon. Those guys are clearly staying hydrated on board as well. Now let's take a look at Ian Walker yesterday, feeling quite confident with their 8-point lead overall.
Made a better start, and we're in a pretty nice position now, up with the front runners, just about around Belle-Île, so all good. Just trying to do a nice tidy leg, you know, nothing silly. Try and finish in the top 3 if we can, and you know, keep a reasonable points gap at the top of the table without taking any undue risk. That's the plan, but it doesn't always work out like that. I guess people are only going to remember who won, but I guess we want to just maintain our standards and what we set out to do. Ease a touch there, Adolf, please. Quite loaded on the helm here.
Definitely, he sounds confident, and of course they have an 8-point lead, so they basically have to finish this leg to keep their overall victory in the Volvo Ocean Race. But it was skipper Charles Cadralier on board Dongfang who we all thought would have the most local knowledge of this area. He explained the choice of the tidal conditions earlier this morning.
44 miles, so about 5 to 6 hours. We are going to been one of the most famous sailing places in France, Le Ratsin. It's famous for the strong currents, and right now there will be no wind and a lot of currents against us, so it's going to be a very complicated place to deal with. And after that we will have Chenal du Faux, but the Chenal du Faux should be with the current behind us, so it's okay. But I think one of the key points of this leg is the Ratsin tonight. Yeah, it's very complicated because the current is about 4 to 5 knots against us, and there is not so much wind, so maybe we won't be able to. We will have to wait. We won't be able to pass it because we can't go in. To have less current, so we have to go in the rocks, very close to shallow water. But with this big boat, 4-5 meters draft, we can't go in the shallow water to avoid the current.
So Charles clearly thought that they were going to go around as well. We showed you already, Team SCA chose to go inside, but on board Team Vestas Wind, there was a little bit of a question as to which way to go. Here's Nikolai Sehested explaining what they did.
So right now we're passing the small island group of Ile de Sand, so no one's ill. So we got the option of either going through the islands, but there's a lot of current against us if we do that, or we can tack and go around the island with the rest of the fleet, which was our first option and the first plan, but then we got squeezed off by Dominica not long ago. So anyways, we had to tag off and get some clear breeze, and we're doing that right now. And yeah, within the next few minutes we decided if we tag back and follow the fleet, or we try to go through the islands against the current. It's a bit of a gamble, but could pay off as well. Shorter distance, more current.
So we showed you earlier, they did tack back and follow the fleet. They're now actually sitting about 7th on the leaderboard because SCA has made it through the gap now. They had a couple of circles fighting against the 5 knots of tide, but it sounds like we actually now are going to be able to speak with Skipper Sam Davies on board Team SCA. Sam, Genny Tulloch here from Race Control. Can you hear us? Hey Sam, it's Genny. We were just talking about your decision to go through Ile de Sand and the mainland this morning. How hard a choice was that for you to make?
It was pretty tricky. It was something that we talked about before, and I talked about with a couple of friends with whom I've sailed around here a lot, and we couldn't think of it. We couldn't think of any moments when going around the outside had paid off. So it was something that we discussed, and we said, well, we'll be happy to attempt going through the inside. And so I guess because it was something that we'd talked about, and we made our strategy, and we knew how we were going to do it. So we were happy to give it a try. And
then how difficult was it? Because we've seen on the tracker it might have been not quite as easy as a one-shot gap.
No, took us three attempts. So yeah, it was pretty tricky. I think we're glad to be out the other side now.
At this point,
yeah, so very, very, very strong tide and not much wind to start with, and then we got lucky, had a little puff of 10 knots from the west, and that just got us through. So we had everyone on deck, and yeah, we did a few laps, of local tourism.
It definitely does not look like
very pretty.
It doesn't look like you have 10 knots now, though, right? And that's one question. Second question.
No, right now we.
Second question, can you see the fleet near you at all, either in visual or on AIS?
Yeah, they're just here. I can see them all lined up just to weather of us, and they're actually in the pressure, so we can see that pressure coming down to us as well. So finally, I don't think, either option is going to make massive gains or losses. Yeah, we can see they're a little bit faster at the moment in that pressure, but we've kind of got another bottleneck to come to in the Chenal du Faux. It looks like everyone's going to the same place, and the tide will be against us just to start with when we get there. So if anyone gets there ahead, they'll probably be quite slow, and we'll probably have a bit of a bunch up there as well.
Is there any option to go around there, or do you think you guys will all go through?
It looks like everyone's going to the same place right now. There is an option to go around the outside, but it seems a bit of a lot of extra miles, and I think because it's so light, we're pretty slow. We're going to get there just before the tide turns, so it shouldn't be too. It should be easy to get through that one.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Sam. Great speaking with you, and good luck. So as you can hear, that's the next option coming up, the next tidal gate near Ushant. And as she's saying, if leaders get there ahead of the tide, they might get through with the rest parked up behind. We will be live again here with a planned time of 4 p.m. With any breaking news, we will go live as a standby, and we have a helicopter up currently, so we'd like to bring you that footage as soon as possible. As you saw below, tweet us your questions at Volvo Ocean Race, and we'll see you at 4 p.m. UTC.